Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Dua, consultant clinical psychologist, and today we are talking about anxiety. So, have you ever had a decision that should have taken 5 minutes, but somehow took 5 days? You need to send an email, you write it and read it again, and then you think, what if they misunderstand me? And what if I should change the wording? And what if I make the wrong impression? So you change it and then change it again. And eventually you are not even sure what you were trying to say anymore. Or maybe it's something bigger. Should I stay in this relationship? Should I leave? Should I take this job? Should I move? Should I say yes? Should I say no? And suddenly your mind opens 100 different doors. And what if I choose wrong? What if I regret it? What if something better comes along? What if I hurt someone? What if I disappoint people? And what if I make a mistake I can't undo? And here is the frustrating part. You may believe that thinking harder will eventually make you feel certain. So you think harder, you research, you ask people, you compare options, you make lists. You imagine every possible outcome, and yet you still don't feel certain. Sometimes you actually feel more confused. If that sounds familiar, this video is for you because today we are going to talk about something that we should have to see again and again. Okay? And the relationship between anxiety, uncertainty, and decision making. And most importantly, I'm going to show you how to start making decisions without waiting for anxiety to disappear first. Because here is the uncomfortable truth. You may feel 100% certain before making a decision, and learning to live with that uncertainty may be one of the most important skills you can develop. So, why anxiety makes decision feel dangerous? Okay, so let's start with something simple. A decision is supposed to answer a question, but anxiety turns a question into a threat. Instead of which restaurant should I choose, your brain asks, what if everyone hates my choice? So instead of should I take this opportunity, your brain asks, what if this is wrong decision and ruins my future? Instead of should I send this message, your brain asks, what if they think I'm annoying? And the decision becomes emotionally loaded, and your brain isn't simply evaluating options, it's trying to prevent danger. And anxiety has a very specific habit. It makes possibilities feel like probabilities. Something could happen, and your brain starts behaving as if it is likely to happen. Let's imagine a woman named Emily, and Emily gets offered a new job. It's a better salary, better position, more responsibility. She's excited, but within a few hours, excitement feels disappears. Her mind starts, what if I can't handle it? What if my coworkers don't like me? What if I fail? And what if my current job? And regret it. Okay, so what if I stay and regret not taking the opportunity? She spends next week researching the company and asks 5 friends what they think and makes a spreadsheet. She searches online for stories of people who changed careers and she imagines both futures and still doesn't know why. So, because she isn't really trying to make a decision anymore, she's trying to make a decision without risk, and that's important. Every meaningful decision contains uncertainty. And the goal isn't to eliminate uncertainty. The goal is to learn that you can handle uncertainty. Okay. So what if loop? Okay. So let's look at the anxiety cycle. It often starts with a decision. Okay. Then comes uncertainty. Then comes what if. Then anxiety. Then mental problem solving. And then temporary relief. And then another what if. For example, I need to decide whether to go to this event, and what if I feel awkward and you think about it, maybe I shouldn't go, and Then what if I regret staying home, so you decide to go? Then what if I embarrass myself? You ask your friend whether you should go. Your friend says you'll be fine. Relief. But then, are you sure? And you are asking for reassurance. And this is where anxiety can become self-reinforcing. So this is where anxiety can become self-reinforcing. And so the brain learns, when I feel uncertain, I need to think until I feel certain. So the next time uncertainty appears, you think more, and the next time more, and eventually thinking becomes your safety behavior. You may even become extremely good at it, and you can analyze a conversation from 6 months ago. You can construct 10 possible futures. Okay. You can identify every possible problem. You can explain every side of an argument, and people may even compliment you. So you are thoughtful, but internally you are exhausted, because there is a difference between problem solving and anxious rumination. So problem solving usually moves towards action. Rumination keeps circling the same question. Problem solving asks, what can I reasonably do? And rumination asks, how can I make absolutely sure nothing goes wrong? And that's a very different question. Okay, so you don't need to feel certain to make a good decision. Okay, so many anxious people believe, when I finally feel confident, I'll know what to do. Okay, so sometimes confidence comes after you make a decision and discover that you can handle what follows. Okay, so you don't get a guarantee that every trip will go perfect. You check the road, you follow reasonable safety precautions, then you drive. You don't sit in your driveway thinking, let me make absolutely certain there will be no danger on the journey. Okay, so because you have enough information, this is a powerful distinction. Okay, enough information is not same as complete information. Okay, so you need to know enough to make a reasonable decision. Okay, so stop trying to predict the future first. Okay, then the fourth question to ask before making a decision, whenever anxiety says, what if? Pause and ask 4 questions. Question number 1 is, what do I actually know? Separate facts from predictions. Fact: I have been offered this job, and the prediction, I will probably fail, and those are not the same thing. Okay. So, the fact is, my partner and I have been arguing frequently. The prediction is, this relationship will definitely end. Again, different. So your anxious brain may present predictions with a separate, with the emotion intensity of facts. Okay, so separate them. Okay, so question number 2 is, what is actually within my control? You cannot control someone's reaction. You cannot control whether every decision works perfectly, and you cannot control the economy. You cannot control the future, but you can control how carefully you prepare, what boundaries you set, what information you gather, and how you communicate, how you respond when something goes wrong. And this is where anxiety often makes a mistake, and it spends enormous energies controlling things and that cannot be controlled. So ask, what part of this problem actually belongs to me, and focus there. And question number 3 is, what would I choose if I didn't need certainty? This is powerful. Imagine anxiety wasn't demanding a guarantee. And what will you choose? You might discover that you already know what matters to you. And sometimes the problem isn't that you don't know what you want, and that's you are terrified of choosing it. So question number 4 is, can I handle the possibility that this doesn't go perfectly? So this question changes everything. Instead of, can I guarantee this will work, ask, if this doesn't work exactly as I hope, and can I handle that? Maybe the answer is yes, and maybe you will be disappointed, and maybe you'll learn, or maybe you'll adjust, and maybe you will recover. And the goal isn't to convince yourself nothing bad will happen. The healthier belief is, something unexpected might happen, and I can respond if it does. And this is resilience. Okay, and don't turn every decision into a life or death decision. Okay, Anxiety has another trick. It makes ordinary decisions feel permanent. What if I choose the wrong restaurant? What if I buy the wrong thing? What if I send the wrong text? And what if I choose the wrong vacation? Some decisions are reversible and some aren't. And learning the difference can reduce unnecessary anxiety. Before making a decision, ask, is this reversible? If yes, you may not need to spend hours analyzing it. Try it, learn, adjust. For example, choosing a restaurant usually reversible, trying a new workout reversible, taking a short course often reversible, and changing careers more significant. Ending a marriage is extremely significant, and medical decisions require appropriate professional guidance. The point isn't that every decision is easy. The point is to give the decision the appropriate amount of attention. A small decision doesn't deserve the emotional energy of major life decision, but anxiety doesn't always understand proportionality. And everything can feel urgent, everything can feel important, and everything can feel like this choice will determine my entire future. It won't. Sometimes it's just a dinner, okay? So stop asking everyone else to decide for you. Okay, so you are the one who was taking the decision, you are the one who is responsible for your life, and you are the one who has the remote, okay, who has the control, okay? So just believe in yourself and don't trust others. Just say that I have to do and that do, okay? Just do it and show this to people, okay? And don't let your anxiety control you, just control your anxiety, okay? So if you guys haven't subscribed, first just go and subscribe my channel, like the video, and do comment me below. So see you soon in the next video. Till then, take care. Goodbye everyone.